Hey, everybody, want to welcome you to a brand new episode of Sold Separately. We are on the cusp of San Diego Comic-Con reveals. This is the first of likely many episodes, but we are covering some of the WWE revealed figures, and I'm going to do this with my partner in crime. What's up, Clark?
I'm stoked to be here. As close as I live to San Diego, I'm actually having a tough time figuring out if I can get down there for Comic Con. But I am stoked to break down the figure releases myself and fired up to be here as always. What's going on?
Yeah, one of these years, you and I have to go to the Comic-Con because I've always wanted to kind of go
It's
there.
like not that far away. I was down
No,
there
I know, but the
today.
tickets sell out like immediately. Like you have good connections. You could get us in there,
I
but you
had
know what I mean.
breakfast tacos like 15 minutes away from where
Yes.
it's gonna be.
So the first ones up are Target exclusives, part of the WWE Legends line. We are getting a Mr. Fuji, a Michelle McCool, and a Triple H, which I believe is from the early 2000s, obviously, because he has the World Heavyweight Championship and the 2x4. Michelle McCool comes with the split belt. Now, we have not seen a Layla figure in many years. I don't know what her situation is. I don't believe she's under a Legends deal, but I would like to see that at some point down the line to go with this. And obviously, you have manager Mr. Fuji with the cane, alternate head, and the hat, of course. I think it's really cool that they're doing the split women's title because I don't think they've ever actually done that before.
I have a interesting question to ask. Did
Mm-hmm.
they just throw names at the wall and decide on this?
This was the three. Yeah,
What? This is
none of
really cool, but why?
this is a really odd collection. I find it wild when they're going, this is the first time Mr. Fuji's in the line. And I'm like, I could have swore we've seen a Mr. Fuji figure over the years. How is this the first time in the line? Michelle McCool, I get it. She's on LFG, so obviously they're going to push,
She's been awesome on that show, very much.
yes. But because she's in the spotlight again, they're obviously going to go this route. Which, by the way, this is not on this episode, but on a future one, I saw Bill Nakano is finally getting a figure from Mattel, which
Yes.
looks amazing. Which we will cover in a future one. Obviously, this version of Triple H has been covered a number of times. This is Evolution Triple H. From the 3D images, these look great. The next ones, we actually have physical versions of this. The Creed brothers, which I think look spot on.
You know I can't stand Duke, but I do love these two figures. I think it's golden.
Yes, I think the likenesses are spot on. The gear looks great. Um, Speaking of mixed situations, the next one's up. Another three set. This was the main event line. Kairi Sane, Ivy Nile, which apparently is the first time in the line, and Chad Gable, which I gotta be honest, does not look like the best Chad Gable that I've seen.
None of this makes sense to me, though. I'm like, Kyrie Sane, Oscar,
Yeah.
Ivy Nile, maybe with Gable in a separate. I don't know. I'm confused,
I
but I do think the figures look great. Other than, like you said, that's not Chad Gable. That looks like Dan Gable.
yeah, I mean the thing is, like, I'm surprised you wouldn't have done Ivy and Chad with the Creeds in a 4-pack because those are elites. I'm not exactly sure why she's getting a basic when she's been with them for a while.
Right.
And obviously Chad's had a number of different figures, but it seems kind of odd to cross those things that should have been in the same line, is my thought.
It doesn't
Uh,
make any sense to me at all.
the next one up, I want to feature this one only because it's the first representation of the Speed title in physical form.
Unbelievable.
This is
It's
a great
finally
undrop.
happened.
Yes, it's not just on Twitter, but I think this is a great likeness of Andrade. It is kind of funny that he's the first Speed champ to get a figure with the belt. Um, I believe it's an elite, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure what series it's going to be, but it's going to be.
We
Um,
have a speed title, an
yes.
official speed title.
So now
That's
it's
the headline.
real. The next three are part of the Ultimate line. And I think one of these names, it's very timely the day we're recording this. It is Seth Rollins, Chelsea Green, and Hulk Hogan.
Unbelievable.
So for people to know, the day we're recording this is the day that Hogan died, which we were prepared to do this episode before obviously everything went down. I think the Seth, here's the thing. I feel like they keep releasing the same Seth. They're just changing the tights.
I think this one's pretty good, but I agree with you on the changing the tights.
Oh, well, because here's the thing.
The shades help this a lot.
The shades help, and I also want to see what the jacket is because I'm sure this thing's going to have a coat. Yes. I think they made a gigantic mistake. If you're going to do an Ultimate Seth, you should have did the WrestleMania 40 Mummers gear. That should have been the Ultimate. I think the Chelsea looks great. She goes with the hat, multiple heads. I think that's awesome.
Chelsea Green's awesome.
Yes. Hogan's had obviously a lot of figures over the years.
This is vintage.
And, he's had a number of Ultimates. But when you think of Hulk Hogan, you think of two things. You think of him in the NWO gear, and you think of him in this way, the 1980s. This is peak Hogan from the Hulkamania run.
Yep.
Obviously, multiple heads, the rippable shirt. And, I think they captured it. I think, at some point, we're probably going to do a Hogan themed episode covering the different figures that he's had over the years. There's a lot of them. But I think this can go down once we see the actual figure and not just 3D images. This can go down as one of the top ones that's ever been made.
I think so too. Yeah. And I think it's going to be really important. It's interesting today discussing this and the ripping of the shirt, all of that. I think this is going to be a huge Ultimate Edition that is probably a must buy.
Yes. The next set up is really cool. They are making Piper's Pit.
Yeah.
It comes with Paul Arndorff, Mr. Wonderful, obviously Roddy Piper, and Cowboy Bob Orton with cast. And obviously it's the full set, which I think is really cool. The only thing that I wish it would have, and I know technically they can't do it, it drives me nuts seeing the WWE logo and not the WWF logo, because it's technically inaccurate.
I'll say this though, all I can say is I definitely want the Piper's Pit, but I never thought I'd utter this phrase in my life. Now I need to find an old school Snuka figure. And I'm afraid I'm going to have to buy like a SpongeBob figure to get a pineapple or a coconut involved in this situation, either or. But man, it's cool that they made Piper's Pit.
Honestly, I feel like if Snuka did not have the controversy,
right,
this would have had to been a set with Piper and Snuka and the coconut, with a breakable coconut. Like it had that would have been the set. Like, in my opinion, that would have been the set if the Snuka controversy did not exist. But I agree with you. Like, it boggles my mind that we have not gotten this set prior to this. Yeah. Considering the number of Piper figures we've gotten over the years. So iconic. I love the pictures on the wall. That I think is pure Piper. What also would have been cool if they do another Piper's Pit one that gives you the set. Obviously, it's a different set, but the infamous Andre Hogan Heenan for the WrestleMania 3.
And a Bobby Heenan is the figure.
Yes. Yeah. I think it would be a 4-pack with them, with the Piper's Pit, with the cross that, can, get ripped off and whatever. I think that would look awesome. The next one up, pure 80s, also controversial. Jesse the Body Ventura getting his first Mattel, which it does come with multiple heads, including, older Jesse and even older Jesse. I believe we are getting, it's not covered in this episode.
Jeans and not ring gear is odd to me.
I believe this is supposed to be announcer Jesse.
Yeah. Okay.
I believe that would be the argument because the wrestler Jesse with the boas
They aged him real quick.
is supposed to come out. Not on this episode, but in a future one, probably.
Absolutely.
They are releasing a Jesse wrestler Jesse. I believe this is announcer Jesse. That would not have been the gear I would have went with for announcer Jesse. I would have went with something more flamboyant and less Outback Jack. But for that one, the next one, I think you are very interested in, Clark, because you have the mask. It is 1997 Halloween Havoc Rey Mysterio. I believe this is an ultimate.
Yes.
Comes with the Cruiserweight Championship, comes with multiple heads, separate mask. One of them obviously is ripped. Since you bought the mask at WrestleMania 41, thoughts?
I love this. It's one of my favorite matches of all time. I think it's awesome. I love the removable mask that came with it. That's why I bought the mask at the Superstore. I just think this is a really, really cool figure. It's not the very first one. And
Correct.
ironically, obviously, you've got the Seth Rollins figure with the question marks.
Yes.
Not that long ago either, just a few years back. This is just cool. And I love the removable mask because we all know about what could have been.
Yes.
It did happen down the line, but I love this. At the end of the day, though, we do all remember that mask was attached to the rest of the gear.
Yes. I do love the fact that they have the one with the ripped. I think that's that's a nice attention to detail in this set. And obviously they've made the Eddie Guerrero from that 1997 classic as well over the years. I believe that had an ultimate
numerous times. Yes.
Yes. The next one up, long time since they've had a figure, first time in WWE. Motor City Machine Guns are getting elites.
Very cool.
I'm very curious to see the actuals. Right now we're getting the 3Ds. I've always been a big fan of the Motor City Machine Guns. So I think it's very cool that they're getting figures. Finally, after all these years.
The figure, absolutely, and the jacket is excellent. I love the vest. It's perfect.
I'm a little surprised. I would think Saban would come with a jacket as well because they both kind of wear jackets.
That was my assumption, was that might just be the pre-release photo and you're gonna get both.
Yeah. The main event. This covers a couple different slides. But Penta is getting a defining moments figure from his Raw debut, his WWE debut. I honestly think this looks awesome. It comes with a couple different. You could switch out the mouth, which is kind of cool with the hands. Clark, we have actuals. This may be the greatest Penta figure that's ever been made. Obviously he's got the pose. Up close, I don't think you're ever going to get a better Penta face-wise than that.
There's arguably nobody more figurable than Penta right now in all of pro wrestling, and this is pretty perfect. It's hard to deny the fact that you can pose it in the strut perfectly with the facial expression. It's absolutely brilliant.
I mean, honestly, because I have the first AEW Penta figure, which I think looks awesome. Great figure. I'm like, all right, I don't need another Penta figure. I think I might need this one. In all seriousness.
So good.
This looks awesome.
I will say the AEW Penta figure from the cage match with the Lucha Bros stuff, that would be the only one I think that can compete.
Yes. Yeah. This is Defining Moments, which I believe is a Ringside Collectible exclusive, or at least they have been. So it's probably the same boat as this. I don't know when this one's coming out, but I think it looks absolutely incredible. Originally when I was building this episode, I just had the 3D images and then went, oh no. Ringside posted the actual images of this. And I'm
it's on now.
Yeah, I'm like, this has got to be the main event of the show that we're covering. Like I said in the beginning, there's a lot of figures that was announced at San Diego Comic-Con. We're going to be doing future episodes, probably covering more of them on top of all the other content that we have that we just have to find the time to record. But I want to thank everybody for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the Wrestling Republic Undercard channel. Obviously, this is the home of the show. Typically, we're on Fridays. Sometimes we're unfortunately not able to make those Fridays, but we will try to make most of them. We want to thank everybody for watching. See you guys next time.